Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from STQC Hyderabad. You may be wondering how come Hyderabad. Yes, we have a center at Hyderabad. Not only at Hyderabad, we have centers most of the capitals of states. Now, as far as this presentation is concerned, it is the Security Assurance Framework, e-governance securities assurance framework. Normally, the STQC is involved in testing and quality certification. Yes, we started mainly in hardware. Now we are also there in software. You just had seen number of e-governance applications we have tested. Now we are also involved in assessments, particularly related to information security. Now maybe that is the reason Department of IT has entrusted the task of developing the e-governance, particularly the e-safe standards. Some of we had come out with a small logo for that. E-safe standards for Now, yes, DIT has entrusted us the developing this standards. Now, first of all, if you look at, there is a need for information security, and now you have to have services. Yes, my previous speaker was also talking about, and you are all aware, either government to citizen, government to business, or government to government to internal, whatever it is, these are all the services, and you are expected as a citizen or as an end user, a trusted service. And if you are using this, then finally the information asset you will be dealing with, and these information asset you have to safeguard in respect of CIA. I've just given CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, because these three are important for any information asset. Now, if you consider information is having a value, and naturally you are expected to protect it. Now, we have come out with a small model. Now, if you consider the information asset is at the center, then naturally the first layer is application layer, and the next layer is infrastructure, that is whatever devices that were connected and all. And the last layer, as on now, it is operations and management. Now, that means if the information asset has to be test, or if you have to do something, you have to penetrate through all these three layers. That means it is basically onion principle. Yes, if one breaks, hopefully the other one will take care of. Now, coming to the basis of this, I hope most of you are aware about ISO 27001. Isn't it? Because, yes, this is a international standard, and it is quite popular, and industry is using this for quite some time. Now, this is one basis for coming out this standard. Now, you may be wondering, once an international standard is there, why you people have come out with your own, rather the e-governance standards, particularly the e-safe standards. Yes, the ISO 27001, if you look at, it is basically a management system approach. The title itself, Information Security Management System. And if you have to implement that, the normal method is you have to first do the risk assessment. Now, if you have to do the risk assessment, yes, there are guidelines, there are the ISO standard itself is, the 27005 is there. They recently, it has come out. Now, if you have to take the risk assessment based on that, first of all, you have to work out what is the scope of the organization you are bringing it under the risk assessment. And then you may have to list out all the assets you have. Then either you want to have individual asset wise or a group of assets wise, that is, the choice is left to the organization. Then you will come out for each asset, what is the CIA value, and then you come out with the asset value, then you go into the threats, then you look at what are all the vulnerabilities, then you come out with the risk value. Then risk mitigation. This is it is slightly a lengthy process, maybe for a commercial organization, for large organization, development organization. Yes, this route is good. But if you look at for a e-governance application, the method what we have done is we have, the group, the responsible for coming out with e-safe standards, we have taken information asset. For that, what is the approach? That is what we have followed. And the other help we have taken is the FISMA standard. This is a US approach. Now, the other requirement from the government is from the IT Act, it is again a requirement. And from the industry like DSCI and other requirements, calls for generally 27001. Then in between we have come out with the e-safe standards, which will be easy to implement. For that, now this is the approach we have suggested. First of all, okay, categorize the information system. Now this is where the difference is. If you look at the normal 27001 and this, they categorize the information system. For that, there are guidelines, GD 100. And then, once you categorize, then there is a catalog of different controls, the way the 27001 is also having if you remember, there are 11 domains and near about 133 or, precisely maybe around 133 or 136 controls are there. Similarly, the baseline controls, a detailed baseline controls were worked out. This guidelines 200 provides this. Please note, all these are available on the site e-governance standards.nic.in, or you can link it through the mit.gov.in also. You can read these standards. Then the methodology says the risk assessment. And then refining, in case based on the risk assessment, if there are any issues, then refine it, again based on the guidelines 200 controls that are there. Then implementation of the controls, again a guidance document is coming up. And monitoring and effectiveness of controls. As of now, the last two, that is GD 210 and GD 220, were not yet released. The first, that is GD 100, 200, 201, 202, 203, and GD 300, that is risk assessment. They are all available in the draft state, but the last two are yet to be released. And we expect by the end of maybe around October, we expect they will be released for comments. Then, when we are telling the approach is different, that is the method of security categorization of this information asset. If you take the information asset, now they will be categorized in three different things, rather the low, medium, and high level. Now, whether in case of any problem, the impact is a tangible impact or it is an intangible impact, or if it is related to the individual. Based on that, you can come out whether the information asset, rather the information system, whether it falls low or medium or high. Then once you decide this, then a set of controls are available. See, the advantage is, if you look at the 27001, the organization has to take the decision by making a statement of applicability. Now, you have to justify these are the controls that are applicable, these are the controls that are not applicable. But this method helps you directly. Yes, if you are a low baseline, I mean, if you are considering you have the information system falls under the low category or medium category or high category, then what are all the controls that are applicable? This document directly gives you the applicable controls. To that extent, what you are doing is you have not yet gone to the risk assessment, but you can start implementing. For an organization where you are directly implementing, like you can take an example of e-district application. If you are implementing it, now by coming out whether you are in the which category, now you can directly start implementing the baseline controls. Then comes the risk assessment if you want to improve further. Yeah. Then, of course, the risk assessment, again, there is a guideline. You can very well look into the site for the complete details. There are appendix are given for working out how to calculate how to do the risk assessment. An example is given. Appendix C is there in the. Of course, so this is, if it is a high level, you have to, if it is a high risk level, then you have to take care of the risk immediately. If it is a medium, yes, some time is there, but still you have to address it. In case if it is low, you can live with that. Now, these are the steps for risk assessment. And this particular example, actually, I want to cover with an example, but as the time is short, what I suggest you is, please look at the GD 300. A couple of examples are there which narrates the complete flow of that. Now, this is an example of how the detailed control is descriptive in the document, and looking at if it is a low level, yes, which one is applicable? If it is a medium level, which control improvements are applicable? If it is a high level, which one is applicable? This guidance is there again in the document GD 200. Now, this gives what are all the documents that are already available. The red 2.1 are yet to be released. Now, the committee that is involved, yes, Mr. Chatterjee, she is from Calcutta, and Mr. Alok Sain. I am also one of the members in that, and it has gone to the review. And for your information, these entire documents were reviewed recently by Gartner, and they had given good inputs. And some other good inputs have come from Microsoft, and this is the present status of the ESAFE standards. Thank you.